John Donne was right. No man is an island. My own life's journey would be incomplete without the camaraderie and support of a friend I would like to call up on stage to speak with you. He needs little introduction, so quite literally I will say nothing about Valmik Thapar. Valu, please come up and speak with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a little story. Something happens sometimes accidentally. You meet someone in the middle of nowhere, things change, and it's about change. About 3 years ago, it's a little bit about Rajasthan and Maharashtra, our Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Srimati Vasundhara Raje, she's very keen on wildlife. So she reconstituted a state board of wildlife and said, we have to get going, we have to create innovative models, we have to change course, we have to do all the things that Bittu and I have dreamt of doing for ages, but nothing happened. You know, in India we have a tendency, the plane's engines are running and we are ready to go, but no takeoff. So what happened accidentally was I was in Pench, in the forest Pench, and I banged into Praveen Pardesi, believe it or not. 24 hours of talk, non-stop talk about how Maharashtra had made corridors, how it had dealt with village relocation, how it had created alternative energy, how it's dealing with tourism. And he talked and talked and talked. I got back to Delhi, and sometimes when you talk to people, your mind goes on ticking for a few days later. So I was in Jaipur after a few days. I met the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. I said, I want to get Praveen Pardesi down to Jaipur. And she said, what? I said, yeah, I want him to come down and address you and the top bureaucrats of the state about what Maharashtra has managed to do. And somehow in the maze of this horrific bureaucracy this country has, including the forest bureaucracy, we managed it. Praveen Pardesi, after a missed flight on a particular day, and he's very good at missing flights sometimes, he arrived a few hours later. The Chief Minister had kept a time clear, and we started a kind of think tank meeting with him, the entire top bureaucracy of the Rajasthan state and the Chief Minister. After the first hour, the Chief Minister cancelled all her other meetings. For 3 hours, every detail of what Maharashtra had done and what Rajasthan could do was discussed. In the most amazing way, and at 10 o'clock, I think, Praveen, correct me if I'm wrong, we actually hopped out of the Chief Minister's room and he said, I want to go to Ranthambore, and we drove to Ranthambore, reaching it at midnight because the next morning he wanted to go for a drive. The impact was that the plane took off. There was no question now of stopping it because the Chief Minister said, well, if this is possible, what are we doing? So we managed in a way in the last 3 years in Rajasthan, whether it was how you cleared thousands of tons of African catfish which were brought into Bharatpur to save Bharatpur, and it was done phenomenally, or you try and work on Tal Shapar, smaller areas, Jodhpur, which a lot of bird watchers will know, where we have thousands of vultures, or create a better breeding atmosphere for the great Indian bustard, and now there's going to be a breeding center. And of course, the tiger, and they're going to be within a month, a couple of tigers entering a new habitat, which is Mukandra Tiger Reserve, which has been a tiger reserve for many years. Like many of our tiger reserves, never had tigers, because someone in the National Tiger Conservation Authority thought it was good to declare a lot of habitats as tiger reserves, even though they haven't had tigers for 30 years. But the problems come on the state government then. You have a tiger reserve without tigers, what do you do? So everyone says, go to Ranthambore, they have lots of tigers. So actually, I'm dealing with that right now. And we worked a lot on Ranthambore. There are a lot of people in the audience in front of me who are doubters about tourism. The change that has started from that conversation with him has taken Rajasthan to a different level. We created new models in Ranthambore to deal with 300,000 footfalls a year. We have this season an anticipated entry ticket revenue of 30 crores, which which means that we can give for the first time poorer parks that don't get that revenue money. So a small place called Kaira Devi Sanctuary, which has 150 wolves and is very degraded, no visitors go there, is for the first time getting an infrastructural development that is taking place. We followed what Praveen suggested. We relocated several villages. Gas cylinders, which was his major scheme, have been distributed all over Rajasthan to bring down the dependency. And in this process, because the revenue came from Ranthambore, that revenue could be spread to other areas. And that's been done. As you all know, the Serengeti exists only because of tourism. The greater Serengeti landscape wouldn't exist without tourism, and it's the money that the Serengeti get that can go to smaller areas in Tanzania for their upkeep, because they don't run at that kind of profit. And we manage Ranthambore. Right now, Ranthambore is managed in a way where there's a huge demand on it, but at different levels we have opened for the visitor a way in which he can get jeeps. We have a great additional chief secretary in Rajasthan who had a lot of fiscal wisdom, so you can go there and get a Tatkal jeep, like a Tatkal railway ticket, at a much higher price. But we manage this at various levels, including a lot of student discount tickets if you're a student. So collectively, there was a way in which all this could start to happen. And I want to tell you something really interesting. Savai Madhopur district, when I went there 40 years ago, was a C-grade district with not one hotel room. Okay? It turns over for the district 300 crores a year, just for the district in terms of the tourism revenue. If this year we are going to have 30 crores in tourism revenue, last year it was 24 crores, it's historical, no other park in India reached that revenue target. With it, it's the highest ever tiger population that Ranthambore has ever known. Okay? So all the ghosts that people have in our privileged lot believed that we could always go in, don't allow tourists, discourage them. We have an ignorant attitude in Delhi, in the National Tiger Conservation Authority, about 20% only use. They don't know how to calculate it. They don't know, haven't worked it out. After all, you have better expertise in the states than you have at the center. Nobody's trained in tiger conservation in the NTCA. They're deputed to the NTCA. So we have to change the NTCA. So all these advisories that Maharashtra has got that discourage tourism, we have to send them advisories on how you want them to help, not the other way around. Wisdom is not inherent in Delhi. It's with your states and the site-specific situations you face in the state. You know the best. They have to fund that. They have to listen to your advice. And if that happens, you can change things around. It's not only my message. Whether you politically agree with Narendra Modi or not, it's his message. Nearly every speech talks about tourism, and it's important. But one hand of government says that, another hand discourages it. We need to connect the hands, connect the fingers, connect the dots, without thinking, oh, this is going to be a big disturbance. Why 100 jeeps with a tiger? Let me assure you, after 40 years of working with tigers, tigers don't live on roads. Jeeps only go on roads. Tigers want to find you, therefore they come out. Otherwise they can be fast asleep in a bush and they won't even lift their ear and you can't see them 100 meters away. So these pictures that are used on various sites to say tourists are disturbing, sometimes they do. But the tiger, out of its curiosity, is coming out to see what's in their area. Just like you might do when you have a little noise outside your house, you can leave your house. Otherwise the tiger doesn't want to come and see you. It has enough space, roads don't go everywhere. They are very limited. So if you manage tourism, use your brains to find solutions to massive tourism. Use the revenue for state-of-the-art protection. That's what the game is about. Don't sit there and send messages to everyone saying, no, 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 we have to bring this down. We've been given a brain, and that brain can find a solution. So you have a Prime Minister who believes that tourism goes right down to the vegetable seller. I agree with him. In Savai Madhopur district, the vegetable selling is phenomenal today. The Amrud market is phenomenal. There are people coming in thousands, and it's changing a domestic economy. I believe that there are 200 spots in India. And with Bittu, we are trying to work this out, where you can, with intelligent tourism, create roughly 50,000 crores for the domestic economy if everyone held hands in the right way. You can create huge amount of jobs. In Ranthambore, there are 10,000 people directly getting jobs from tourism. Think of what would happen in 200 spots. Unemployment, the effect on the domestic economy. And if everyone was able to use their expertise in the right direction, tourism gives you everything. It has to be handled properly. There have to be public-private partnerships. You have to outsource tourism activity. Forest officers are not trained in Dehradun to manage tourism. They will have to be pushed out. You have to have a voice and you have to say, no, enough is enough. If we can have PPPs for our passport office, we have PPPs in our airports, we have them now coming in our ports. What is tourism management? It's an easy public-private partnership. So these are new ways and new models in which to achieve a new era in wildlife. That's what the theme which Bittu and I discussed. The coming future and the future of Indian wildlife will be determined on this fact. How we open our doors and windows, how we engage experts, and how we hold hands together as a team. And that is going to happen, whether government's restrictions and rules are there or not. If Praveen Pardesi could do what he did in Maharashtra, find a path through a minefield, and we have done it in Rajasthan through interstate cooperation, every state can do it. Irrespective, we followed every law. There's nothing in the way. We need our young, who are talented in wildlife, to go in and also run some areas of our parks. We need this partnership, this holding of hands. And that is what will change the future. And we believe the future is changing as we talk. There will be a new decade where these factors will come into play. Thank you.